For a baby shower, a great gift you can bring is a diaper cake. And we put this together. This is 80 diapers inside here. And all it takes is a platter, some tissue paper, some ribbon, and then we held it all together with a bottle of sparkling cider, and you can add anything like a champagne. And we're going to go through the steps. This is for a boy, and we're going to go through the steps to build one for a girl. So step one, we're going to take our sparkling cider and we're putting some double back tape on the bottom, and we're going to stick it to the center of the platter. We're taking 2 diapers on each side, and we're going to wrap around the bottle, and we're going to lock them in place with a rubber band. So we're taking 2 diapers with the front facing out with the character, and we're going to lay them down and roll them. And then we're going to wrap it with a rubber band, and that's going to hold it together. And then we're just going to keep repeating this. So putting 2 together, binding it with a rubber band. All right, we've wrapped about 27 pair of the diapers, and it really depends on the size of your platter. But this is a good number to work around a bottle. And what we're going to do is we're first going to stretch a rubber band around the 2 pair that are on the bottle right now. And we're slowly going to stretch out this rubber band by filling up the outer side with diapers. And we're keeping the smooth side of the diaper where the fold isn't, so the outside is nice and smooth, and it's going to give a nice solid smooth look. And we're just going to keep rotating all the way around until we fill the bottom of the platter. So we have all the diapers all around the base, and the rubber band's tight. You might even want to throw a second rubber band around that just to hold it in place. But that's the first step around the bottle, and now we're going to cover the top of it with some tissue paper. We're going to take 2 sheets of tissue paper together, and this is 20 inches wide by 20 inches wide, and we're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to fold it in half again, and this bottom corner we're going to cut out at an angle, and this is going to give us a hole to put right over that bottle. Now that we have that small hole in the center, we're just going to give it a little cut in the corners of the diamond, and that's going to allow it to slip over the bottle. Alright, so we're going to drape this over the bottle, and we're going to smooth it out. And then we're going to take a rubber band, and we're going to wrap this rubber band completely around all of the diapers to hold them all together. So the rubber band is around the tissue paper, and it's good to pull that rubber band down a little lower than halfway. And we're going to cut off the excess right down to the bottom of the platter, and we're just going to work all the way around till the tissue paper is draping right down to the bottom of the top of the platter rather. So this is the first step for the bottom layer, and now we're going to start on the layer right above it. So on the second layer we're going to take, again, 2 pair on each side, wrap it around the bottle, and then we're going to take a rubber band and we're going to hold it in place. And now we're going to start rolling more diapers in groups of 2. And holding them together with rubber bands. So we're going to take a rubber band again, and we're going to put it around the 2 pair, and we're just going to start working the diapers right around, stretching it out, keeping the smooth part on the outside. And for this, we're using a size 1 diaper, and this is good for 8 to 14 pound babies, and this is just a nice size for building something like this. So we're going to work around till we have a nice shape on this second layer, and then we're going to cover it. We're taking 2 pieces of tissue paper for the second layer, and we're folding it in half. Then we're going to fold it in half again. And this bottom edge, again, we're going to cut it out, and this will slip over the bottom. So we're going to slip this over the top of the bottle, and for this we're not splitting it. It should fit over nicely. And again, we're going to smooth this out, and then we're going to wrap it with another rubber band. Alright, so we're cutting the tissue paper right to the first layer, and we're going to work our way all the way around. And pull the rubber band down just a little below halfway. So for the top layer, we're just going to wrap them right around the top of the bottle and rubber band them all together tight with the smooth side facing out. For the top layer, we're going to take 2 pieces of tissue paper, and we are not going to cut it or fold it. We're just going to roll it over the top, and we're just going to hold it in place with a rubber band. And then the same way, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut it down to the layer below it. And just work your way all the way around. So we have the tissue paper on all 3 layers, and we're going to spin it around, see which side looks the nicest, and we're going to use that as the front. And then as we put the ribbon around it, where we have to create a seam, we'll have that at the back. Okay, so for the bottom layer, we're going to wrap this white ribbon, and I cut it so I know how long it's going to be, and we want our seam in the back. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a 2-sided tape on the very end, and then I'm going to extend it back from the top, and we're going to put some 2-sided tape on this side, extending all the way up to the top. And again, I'm going to run the double-sided tape along the top lip all the way back. And then I'm going to start it from where I want it, right up at the top edge, and work it all the way around. And we'll be able to move it a little bit once we pull it tight. And I'm just going to pull it tight. I'm going to line it up on the top edge and stick it in place. Then we're going to shape it all the way around, and I'm going to cut off any little pieces that are sticking off, and then we'll work on our next piece. Alright, for the second layer of the ribbon, I'm going to put a piece of double back tape on the very edge, going all the way to the top on both sides, and then I'm going to put a piece along the top edge extending back, and then I'm going to just drop it down slightly, because we're actually going to have 3 layers of ribbon. pull it snug, line up the top edge, and then we can work it all the way around and get it to look nice. So for the bottom ribbon, we're going to do it the same way, and this bottom ribbon is going to clean up the bottom of this so it looks nice and smooth. So we put double back tape on both sides, and I'm going to tuck it right underneath the wording on this, and then I'm just going to work it all the way around and pull it just snug and line it up, and it'll just clean up the bottom, and then we'll work it all the way around and smooth it all out. For the second layer, we're only going to use 2 of the ribbons. We're not going to use that first one, and we're just putting the double back tape on each side, and I'm going to just drop this down a little bit from the top to show off the tissue paper on the second layer. And we're just going to pull it smooth to the top, and then we'll shape that from there, and then we'll put the second piece on the bottom. We finished off the top layer the same way, and I think it turned out pretty nice, and we're going to add a little toy to the top of it. And I think to keep it stable, we'll probably cut a slit in the top and just force the legs down into the top, and it should turn out pretty nice. So if you're looking to make a gift for a baby shower, here's our spin on a diaper cake for a boy and for a girl.